Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I want to show you how to make 3 quick and easy cards using He's All That stamp set. So if you are familiar with Stampin' Up! You probably know that we have our annual catalog that is fixing to end, and we have a new catalog that is going to launch on May 2nd. So He's All That is in both catalogs. So I thought it would be a great one to use right now, and also it gives you plenty of time to order it if you decide that you like it, and get it in time for Father's Day. So maybe you can make some Father's Day cards, or just happy birthday cards, or whatever for the men in your life. So to get this class, you can get the pieces, the card pieces for this class, for free whenever you place an order through my online store using this host code right here. So make sure that you use that by, I believe it's May 8th. Make sure you use that by May 8th, and I'm going to show you exactly what you get. So the first card, you'll get 2 envelopes. Oh, let me switch my cameras. Okay, so you get 2 envelopes, and each envelope includes all the pieces that you need to make this card. I can't send you any stamped images due to Stampin' Up's policies, but I can send you pieces that are die cut, or in this case embossed. So for these cards, well, for 2 of these cards, I'm using the Basics embossing folders. These are my favorite embossing folders right now. They are an online exclusive, so that means you have to look online to get them. They're not in the catalog, but all 3 of them come as a set, and this one right here I use all the time. But for this first card, I've used all 3 of them. So we've got Starry Sky, Crushed Curry, no, this one's crushed Curry, and this one's Cajun Craze, and you can see those fun embossed images that are on there. So this is the only piece I'm going to be stamping on. I'm going to be stamping Hello Handsome with this fun little mustache, and I'm using Early Espresso to do that. So let's just go ahead and get that stamped. I'm just going to stamp it right here in the center. You could even like make it crooked if you wanted to make it a little jauntier, but I kept it pretty straight. Okay, so this is just a matter of putting all the pieces together. So you can see you get all the pieces already cut and embossed and ready for you to go. So here's our card base. The next piece is going to be the smaller piece of basic white. So it's going to be this one on top. And then this is going to go on top of that, this piece of Early Espresso. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one. And I usually use Stampin' Dimensionals on like all of my cards. I love Stampin' Dimensionals. I like the dimension and the depth that they give them. But for this one, I decided to go ahead and keep everything flat. We've got a little bit of dimension or depth or texture, I guess, is really more accurate, going with all of the embossed images on our pieces. And there's so many layers, so I decided to just keep this one flat. Trying to scooch that and get it to even up a little bit. I got it a little crooked. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some liquid glue to the back of this. So you get this when you place a $35 order. You'll have enough to make 6 cards, 2 each of 3 designs. And if your order reaches $50, of course before tax and shipping, then you'll also get a package of these fun rustic metallic adhesive backed dots. That's a mouthful. So this is what those look like, and we'll be putting this on 2 of our cards, and you could also put it on the 3rd card if you would like to. So I'm going to put this one right down here in the corner. And I do recommend kind of lining these all up before you get started. Like I didn't do. Do as I say, not as I do. Just to make sure you've got the spacing pretty even. Yikes. Okay, so this fun little square one with the dots. Isn't this fun? Doesn't that kind of remind you of cheese? Look, my pen bled on me. I like to have enough glue on there that I have a minute to adjust it. If you get too little glue, you don't have any wiggle room. Interesting noise, huh? So I think these are little flowers, but they also remind me of starfish. I don't have any beachy kind of sets right now. I need to get some because I think that would be fun to use with a beachy set. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool. I have misplaced the cap for this. I think it has fallen on the floor. I need to find it. All right, and I'm just going to add a few of these dots around my sentiment here. There we go. And that's our first card. But look at those dimensions. Aren't those fun? Just all the different patterns. So like I said, it's a very simple card. It goes together very quickly. And then you could even use that same stamp to decorate the inside of your card. That's what that other piece of basic white was for. And also your envelope. So you can, I'm going to do the inside of the card first. So it's going to be sideways. So I'm just going to put the mustache right here. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to get a Post-it note because I love to mask things. So I'm going to use that. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. So I've got my Post-it note covering that up, and I'm just inking it up. Now, before you do anything else, you want to get that Post-it note off of there and throw it away, or else you're going to end up with ink everywhere. And then I'm going to put this happy little mustache right here in the corner. It's just all by itself. It's funny. And I think that this would be really cute to use with the Fiesta stamp set from Stampin' Up. All right, and I think I'm just going to stamp the whole thing on the envelope flap. It's an easy envelope decoration that doesn't take much time. Of course, you can do any decorating that you would like and change this up to fit your style or the style of your recipient. That's always fun too. This mustache always makes me think of my dad. He's got a big mustache. Well, not big, but he's got a mustache. Okay, so there we go. That's our first card. So our second card, I'm just going to grab one of these envelopes. So this is exactly how your stuff will come. It'll come all ready to go inside your envelope. So all you have to do is put it together. And I do always like to stamp first. This ink dries pretty quickly, but I like to make sure I have smudged a few times. So get that good and inked up. Oh, and these are new. So this part is in the new catalog. You can't purchase it right now. These are a couple of our new in colors. This is Boho Blue, and this is Pebbled. I almost said Pebbled Park. It's Pebbled Path. I really like this color, and this, of course, is my favorite. I love all the blues that we have, and Boho Blue is no exception. So I'm just going to center that up right there. Got that stamped. And then it's just a matter of putting everything together. So I'm going to start with the card base that is in Pebbled Path. and this square piece of boho blue. Okay. There we go. And then this piece is, that doesn't feel straight. It is not straight. Okay, that's fairly straight. All right, so this piece is from the 6x6 2023 to 2025 in color designer series paper. That was a mouthful. So I love this paper. I have it next to me, I believe, so I can show you more of the patterns that are in this paper. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it was right next to me, but I somehow looked right over it at first. Okay, so these are the patterns that you get. Of course, everything is double-sided. So here's a different pattern. And then, so there's 4 patterns and 5 end colors. And these are all the new end colors. This is going to be such a useful package of designer series paper. I have already used it several times. And I've been trying hard not to use all the new stuff. I've been trying to use stuff that is readily available no matter which catalog you're using, until the new catalog comes out. Then I'll use the new stuff. But even so, I couldn't resist that designer series paper. Alright, so here's my Stampin' Dimensionals. So adhesives don't come in your class to go. You're going to have to supply your own. So that could be part of your $35 order if you don't have them. I find myself ordering lots of adhesive lots of the time because I go through it. Okay, so these, let me get something to put behind this. There you go, that helps. These are the new in colors again. These are the in color dots, 2023 to 2025 in color dots. So you can see all those colors a little bit better. And the 2 end ones are my favorite, but I love all of them. Okay, but I am using this one on the end, this pebbled path, because it matches my cardstock. And I'm going to start with the big one. I'm just going to put it from largest to smallest right here in the corner. And then that is our second card. So you'll be able to make 2 of these. Oops. I keep forgetting the insides. So I'm including a little scrap of this designer series paper. And you can just add a little bit of glue or Stampin' Seal, whatever your adhesive of choice is, and then stick it right on the edge of your cardstock. Yikes. There we go, and I left this one long. I did that on purpose, and I'll probably leave yours a little long as well, just because I find it easier to line it up and trim off the end so that everything is nice and neat and the same length. So grab my handy paper snips, and there we go. And then it's up to you. You can keep it on the left, or you can put it on the right. I'm going to keep mine on the left. So for the front of this envelope, I don't think I'm going to do anything. You could, if you decide to purchase this designer series paper, you could take the designer series paper and glue it to the flap. So what I always like to do is cut a piece and glue it here, and then take my paper snips and trim around it. But I think for right now I'm just going to leave it just like it is. Okay, and then our final card, let me clean this off a little bit. Okay, so our final card is the Father's Day card. Of course, you could change this up to have a different sentiment on it if you don't want to do it for Father's Day. And it uses Night of Navy, Balmy Blue. Here's that Basics embossing folder again. Let me hold it up. So this is the side I like to use on top, but you could switch it and use that side instead. So I'm going to start by, I used my Banners Pick-a-Punch to stamp the end of this already. I'm using Night of Navy as my ink of choice this time. So again, I want to just go ahead and get my stamping done first. There we go. It's a little crooked, but not too bad. Let's set that to the side. And then this piece I'm going to glue on, and I'm going to glue it where it's kind of hanging off the edge. So there's the back of it. Put it about there. There we go. So can you see that? I have it where it's hanging off. I have just the straight pieces right here lined up with the edge of the card. And then I'm going to take my paper snips again. And trim off the back. Okay, now I'm going to use my handy dandy Stampin' Dimensionals. Do you like dimensionals as much as I do? I just think these are the coolest things. I've been stamping and using dimensionals for, oh my goodness, 18 years maybe? And I still just think that this stuff is the funnest. And I like to use a lot of them. Okay. It's very tempting to add some more. I'm trying to resist. So I want this to be just centered right here on the front of my card. There we go. And I'm going to use some linen thread. That looks about right. Let's see, how long is that? So yeah, about 9 1/4 inches of linen thread. I'm going to cut that off there. And cut this right here. So I'm tying a double bow. And it's going to be a little bitty bow. Little bitty. That's too big. Okay, so the bow is the most tedious part of all of this card making stuff. I just want it to fit right there. I think that's a good size. We're going to leave it at that. I'm just going to trim these ends off a little bit. Make sure that's good and tight. And then I'm going to take another piece. Four inches. So linen thread is not included in your class to go. I'm just assuming that you have this. It's a pretty basic. It's a pretty basic. Oh, what's that called? A supply product. So I just assume everybody has some. Or if you've done a class with me previously, you might have gotten it as your freebie. Okay, I don't like where I put those, so I'm gonna put another one on here. Another two. So I'm just using glue dots to hold the linen thread in place. So I like to have two of them on here just for extra strength. And really right in the center of those two. So probably about 1/4 of an inch in, maybe a little bit more, is where you want to put your glue dots or your, oh, why do I always forget the name of it? Probably because I don't use it very much, is the Stampin' Seal. Good gravy. So that should hold that in place really well right there. And I am, since I cut that a little short, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue just along there just to kind of hold it in place. And I'm also going to put a dollop of glue right here. A small dollop. And since I've got the back of that all sticky, I'm going to put that down. And then put this on it here. And use just an extra clear block to hold that in place for just a second. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Okay, so while that is being held down, so while that is sticking, I'm going to use my number 1 stamp. This is also from He's All That. And I'm going to put number 1 in the corner of my inside piece. And I'm going to grab my envelope, and I'm also going to put number 1. I just really like stamping the flap. I don't know why. Sometimes I'll do like the front corner of an envelope, but I really like having the flap decorated. Let's get this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. Another thing that you get with the class to go is the PDF with all the measurements and the complete supply list, everything that you need to make these cards again. So if you make the 6 that I send you with your purchase, then and you want to make more, then you can. Or if you want to make some in different colors, maybe you like colors that I have not chosen here, then you can absolutely do that. And if you can't remember what colors I've used, then that'll be on the PDF too. You may want to use these colors on another project. I always like saving my color combos that I really, really like to use later. Can be a fun challenge. Okay, so this is going to just go right here in the center of this, and you want this edge to line up with those other edges. There you go. And then I'm going to use those same rustic dots we used at the beginning. I'm just going to place one kind of tucked under here a little bit. I'm going to use a smaller one right here. I'm going to add one right to my banner. There we go. And then another big one tucked right here. And then another one, oops. So sometimes I miss my adhesive on these adhesive backed dots. Oh, I picked it up. Okay. There we go. So there's our third card, and I'll pull them back out so you can see them all at once. We have wishing you a happy Father's Day, to the man who does everything, and hello, handsome. You can't see them all at once if I have them piled on top of each other, huh? All right. I hope you like these cards. I hope they help you. I know that sometimes for some of us, me included in that, sometimes masculine cards can be a little bit more challenging for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because there's just so many more feminine type stamps. And I don't know, I send cards to my female friends and family more than I do to my male friends and family. So I'm not sure why that is, but maybe it's just because we're a little bit more communicative. I don't know. So I hope this helped you out. I hope that you were inspired by this, and if you would like to have this class to go, then just place a $35 order using this host code right here by May 8th, by the end of the day. And then a few days later, you will get the PDFs in the mail with the supply list, the instructions, photos, all the good stuff, measurements. And I'll also be sending you the card materials for 6 cards that you'll get in the mail with envelopes. And if your order reaches $50 before shipping and tax, then you also get these fun rustic metallic adhesive backed dots. Yes, adhesive backed dots. All right, y'all. I hope that you're having a wonderful day and that you get time to be creative. Happy stamping.